Hi everybody, this is Kevin and welcome back to another video. And today I would like to share my thoughts on Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest Episode 7, which was another fantastic episode. I love Fairy Tail so much. It has been a lot of fun talking about it each week with you guys. I even watched Episode 5 dubbed. Although there's not much to add about that one because I already did my whole review of Episode 5. And I've mentioned, every character has come back to reprise their roles aside for a handful. The new voice actors for the new characters, like the members of Diabolos, Kiria, Mad Mole, and Skullion are all great. So not really much to add there. Next week when I talk about Episode 8, I'll definitely have to add more to Episode 6 dubbed because then we're going to learn who Ignia's English voice actor is, but, stay tuned next week for that. As for Episode 7, though, I've mentioned this each week. I've talked about Fairy Tail in that it's so much more than just a regular battle shonen series. There's so many other aspects to it, which I think people don't even see half the time. I mean, yeah, they see the fan service aspect, obviously. Like, there wouldn't be a Fairy Tail episode without fan service, but to me, there's so much great slice of life stuff. There's the humor, of course, and the great character interactions, in particular this week with Natsu and Lucy. And I love it so much because this episode, it's not a filler episode by any means, but it's the in-between from the intro story arc, our heroes setting out on the 100 Years Quest, confronting Mercphobia and Ignia, and now that Mercphobia has been defeated, his power is no more. He's back to his human form, of course, but he no longer has the water dragon god powers. Our heroes have to figure out what to do next, to which they learn more about the other three dragon gods, and then set off for the city of Drazel in hopes of finding Alderaan, the wood dragon god. So, it's like the in-between for the next story arc, and there's a lot of great stuff, like I already mentioned, the interactions between Natsu and Lucy, and just the comfy slice of life stuff, the camping, and later on when they get to the town of Tekka, we'll talk about that, but yeah, I have all sorts of screenshots, of course. I have some comparisons to the manga, and I even have a piece of fan art that I want to show you guys. So stay tuned for all that good stuff. Starting with our first image, of course, which is Natsu and Happy looking on at the wreckage of the town of Ermina. What happened was, our heroes had their run-in with Diabolos, and they overcame them. But then Mercphobia went berserk because Toka, the white mage, and she's scheming in the shadows, more on her later. But because of Caramille, she wanted Mercphobia's power to be sealed away, so she consulted the white mage, and unbeknownst to her, Toka is actually evil. At least, well, we've seen a Toka, there's the good one and then the evil one. Toka's the good one, the white mage is the evil one. So the white mage has Mercphobia's powers and has him destroy the whole city. Natsu and the gang try to stop him, but, Natsu's at a severe disadvantage because, number one, Mercphobia is the water dragon god. Number two, Natsu is a fire dragon slayer, so, water beats fire. And then, all of a sudden, Ignia shows up, who is the true son of Igniel. In a sense, I guess the older brother of Natsu, too, or stepbrother, because that's Igniel's flesh and blood. Igniel also adopted and raised Natsu when he was younger. And he tells Natsu, you're pathetic, you're weak, you can't do anything, come back when you're stronger. And he burns the whole town down and says the only way you can defeat Mercphobia is by devouring my flames, getting a power-up, and defeating Mercphobia. To which Natsu does, but he goes berserk in the process. And after he defeats Mercphobia, he's ready to kill him until Natsu's waifu, and my waifu too, by the way, Lucy stops him. So, she saved the day. So Natsu and Happy are contemplating, what are we going to do to prevent that in the future? And as they're doing that, Lucy shows up and smacks him and says, You burnt my chest! How could you? What were you thinking? And I think I have a manga panel next. Yeah, so it's the same thing. I love the derpy expressions, the two of them. Natsu with the shark teeth and, Lucy, my foot, you! So she's complaining about how there was a burn on the maiden's chest. And Natsu doesn't believe her. He's like, oh yeah, whatever. So he decides, okay, we gotta inspect this for ourselves. And he lifts up her shirt and takes a peek. And look at his eyes. He's like, he's studying them. And as this scene happened, it was hilarious, man. You heard the wow cool sound effect, and it was just great. I love it so much. Here's another comparison just from the other image we saw of Lucy, and then, of course, what you guys are all here for, the jiggle. Looks fine to him. So, Lucy smacks him again. And I have these for comparison's sake. I'm going to talk about something else later, but you can kind of see, like, you can see the side boob in the anime, but the manga is like, whoa, just throwing them all out there. The manga is more liberal in that sense. But anyway, Lucy smacks him again, and how could you? And Natsu's a big lump on his head. And then he begs for forgiveness, but you might be thinking, oh, yeah, he was looking at her titties. He said he's sorry. No, he's not sorry for that. He's sorry for going berserk, is what he's apologizing for. It says he's never going to do it again. He needs his friends to keep him in line, and they're all going to work together. We're not going to rely on some evil powers from that jerk Ignia. We're going to work together and seal away the 5 dragon gods. So you get this beautiful shot of Lucy as they're looking on, and this is just, you know, the Nalu fans, as we call them, the Natsu and Lucy fans, love this scene. I love this scene where you get just this beautiful shot of the two of them looking on and figuring out where they're going to go next and just smiling. Just a beautiful moment. I loved it so much. And here's some more comparison. Someone put this together on Twitter, just, you know, the different angles, Lucy's face, Natsu's face, how they're both smiling, and then that same shot at the end there, right? So, one of the things people were talking about, and yeah, of course, I noticed this as well, but there was a lot of chatter on the Twitter, is that they're a little inconsistent with Lucy's design. Now, from what I remember, it's been a while since I watched the anime, and this happened a lot in the manga. In the manga, Lucy changed her outfit like every chapter, unless they're in the middle of a battle. But in these in-between episodes or mini arcs, she's always changing her outfit. And they haven't done that with the anime. They revert back to this, and later on they go back to the vest and, you know, the shirt that shows her tummy. But the hair length is kind of messed up in that it's much longer in the manga. And you have to remember that 100 Years Quest takes place a whole year after the original Fairy Tail series, so that's why her hair is longer. And it's just kind of strange to me how it goes back to this length, which is before the time skip. And like, okay, yeah, you can see more here. Look how long it is there, and where she hits him. Like, to me, the outfit doesn't really bother me because it's just easier to animate the stock outfits they already have. But the hair is kind of like, you can't make her hair a little longer to be consistent with how it's been a year. I don't know, just something I figured I'd mention, and you get a glimpse there. But she's still beautiful. Whichever way you look at her, she's absolutely gorgeous. And the way I've always seen it is, the manga is always going to be there. It's the original source material. It's always there. And then you have the anime as well. And yes, I do prefer the anime because of the voice acting and the music. To me, that pushes it over the edge. But there are scenes and moments that, you know, you don't get in the anime that's only there in the manga. Such as little details with Lucy's hair and her outfits, I suppose. But, you know, just something I figured I'd mention. So, Caramel is basically happy that Mercobia is still alive, actually. He turns back into his human form now that Natsu defeated him. And because he was being controlled by the White Mage, we're just, from now on, the White Mage is the evil one, and then Toka's the good one. When I talk about Toka, it's the good one, but otherwise the White Mage is the evil one. So the White Mage had his powers, and Caramel's thanking our heroes. They're all there. There's Wendy, Urza, and Gray. And he's all patched up. He has his crutch. He's back to his human form, despite still having the horns, like the dragon horns. He's back to normal. And from now on, he doesn't have any more magical energy. So he vows to stay here with the people of Ermina and rebuild and presumably live a happy life with his waifu, Caramel. So you get a cute moment where he's smiling and she's on the verge of tears because, you know, she's happy that he's still alive. Because remember, a few episodes ago, she was telling Natsu and the gang to kill him and put him out of his misery. But they were able to, as Natsu said from the beginning, if we can, you know, there's good dragons out there too. We can talk some sense into them and make them our friends. We're going to do just that. And there's a cute moment where she keeps calling him the holy water dragon or whatever. And he's like, oh, please, I'm Mercphobia. And then she calls him like Mercphobia Sama or Merc Sama or something. So it's just a cute moment. I loved it. And then again, here's just some more comparison where, let's see, that's like that face right there. Then you got that. So very accurate. I love it. So it shows Eleftheria. Remember, we haven't seen him since, I think, the first episode. He gave them the quest. And all these dragons were in color. That one to the right obviously was in blue. And now the color has gone out. And Eleftheria's like, oh, shit, these guys are actually going to pull it off. So there's the other dragons. We have Ignia, of course. I'll just mention it now. I don't know if I have the screenshot of Mercphobia talking about it. But Mercphobia tells our heroes about the other dragons. Of course, we know of him. We know of Ignia, the fire dragon god. The next one on the list is Alderaan, the wood dragon god. Selene, the moon dragon god. And then Verniers, the metallic dragon god. Now, Alderaan is next. They do mention that. And I'm just saying, because I kind of have to tiptoe a little bit. I assume most people who are watching these have read the manga as well. But for those who are just watching the anime, I can't wait to see Selene in the anime. Oh yeah, I can't wait. And hopefully, well, I don't know if hopefully soon. We get a cameo of Selene relatively soon, I think. So stay tuned for that. Oh, and then it goes back to Diabolos to figure out what our, I was going to call them our heroes, our villains, our other friends there are up to. Of course, they fled because after Brandish stopped their ship, you know, Natsu and Wendy, Urza, the rest of them turned the tide in battle, and Skullion said, okay, we got to retreat. So they're back here in their guild, and Kiryu is like, no, I could have beat them all. Why do we retreat? And Skullion's like, calm down, man. Well, come on. And we meet the guild master of Diabolos, Georg Rezin. So, and again, some more comparison. It's kind of hard to tell because it's in a dark room, but, you know, he's got the scars and everything. So, we'll see more of him later. And then, okay, this is another thing. So, I think this is the very end of episode 5. The White Mage was in the Fairy Tail Guild and drained all the magical energy of every guild member of Fairy Tail. And it cuts over to Sting, who's also with Rogue, Yukino, Sorino, Frosh, and Lecter. They find out that Fairy Tail is vacant. So, oh no, what happened to our friends? And then it shows Toka, who's on a boat, and she's on her way to Giltina. So, what is she doing there? And does she have all the members of Fairy Tail in the boat with her as her new minions? Find out next time. So, okay, so now we go to the next town. We're en route to Drazel, but we make a quick stop in the town of Tekka, and it shows this cute moment of Lucy just walking, pumping her fist, like, yeah, let's go! And there's happy Lucy and Natsu. And again, this is more criticism with the outfit and everything, because we just saw with Lucy's hair, right? Now it's even shorter than it was before, and I love this. This is my favorite Lucy outfit, by the way. But again, this is like the difference here, where you can see the hair is longer, and it's a different top. She has like the vest on and those sleeves, but she has a different top on. And you get more of an illustration from one of the best fan artists, especially when it comes to Fairy Tail, on Twitter, from Gaston18, where he colored it. So, you know, that's the anime, and that's a fan artist. So it's just, it's really the hair length and then the top. So, I don't know. Just something to keep in mind. But anyway, Urza's looking at her map and realizes the map is all messed up, that the train tracks have disappeared. And she's like, who could have done that? And it turns out Natsu and Wendy erased the train tracks from the map because they have motion sickness, and they figure, no, we have to walk. And then Urza starts chasing after them. And look at their faces, man. Look at all their faces. Wendy, Natsu, and Urza, no! Leave us alone. So after that, we got some more comfy moments. This is what I said, man. This episode was so comfy. Just all these great moments. And now Lucy writing in her diary. And that's another thing, like, I forgot to mention early on, is Lucy's been the narrator of this entire series. Not just 100 Years Quest, but the original series, too, because she's a writer. And she's writing in her journal now what happened and how, you know, Natsu went a little berserk, but he'll be okay. He's my Natsu. He's our Natsu. and everyone's sleeping in the tent there. There's Urza, there's Wendy and Carla, and Lucy just writing in her journal. And as she's narrating, she mentions Natsu's name. And Natsu peeks in the tent. You called? This is my room! I just love when they do their derpy faces like that. Shoot, get out of here. Look at where Natsu's looking. He's like, oh, you know, because we saw, where is she? Look at that. He's looking right at her, Lucy's titties, naturally. So she shoos him away. And then the next morning they wake up and Lucy's like, oh, I had a bad dream. What happened? And as the girls all get out of the tent, everyone is smiling and on the verge of laughter. There's Gray trying to, he's holding back tears. He's laughing so much. There's Happy chuckling, Natsu, and as it pans to all the ladies, they drew funny. Look, what's that? Poop? Did Natsu draw poop on Urza's face? But all the girls are victim, and I think even Carla too. But Urza whips out the giant hammer. Natsu, you bastard! Which is this big homage to the original series as well, where Urza also had this hat. It's the same thing. Look at that, the same design and everything. So she pulls that out and starts chasing after him, and poor Carla. Oh my god! And again, that's more comparison to the manga. Natsu, you snake! I kind of like that better than you bastard. Natsu, you snake! And that's the thing too. That's what they added in the anime, because I don't think she just had like that's her sword she's holding. So they added this to the anime, the hammer, which is paying homage to the old anime. All right, so they make their way to the town, and Urza's still pleading with them like, come on, can we just take the train? And they're like, no, we have motion sickness. Urza's like, I'm carrying all this luggage. Like, why does she need to carry all that luggage? I mean, everyone has a little backpack or something. What is all that? I guess she's carrying all the tents and everything. So all these people show up, and they start chasing after Urza, and they're like, are you Alex? And Urza's like, no, I'm Urza. And they're all chasing after her like she's a celebrity. And then not Urza shows up, Alex, who says shh. And mind you, this is not Urza Nightwalker from Daedalus. But she takes our heroes to this new location where you see Lucy's looking at it like, what the hell? To Fairy Nail! Like, what is this? And we're going to learn about this next week, but just, I guess, minor spoilers if you haven't read the manga. This is like a different version of Daedalus we're about to witness. Okay? So if you remember Daedalus, the alternate versions of our characters, in that case, you know, Natsu had a car in Daedalus, and here he has motion sickness. But yeah, this episode was so much fun, and just talking about it again is just great. I almost went 20 minutes talking about it, but, you know, it's just, like, I remember watching it, and the 24 minutes, you know, openings and endings, if you don't skip them, just flew by, and it just reminds me of, like, man, I wish I could binge watch Fairy Tail right now. But it almost makes it better that I can talk about it each week with you guys and just relive it and laugh and have fun. And man, I can't wait to see what's gonna happen next week. There's a lot of great stuff coming out with Juvia, or actually, well, we'll say the Fairy Nail version of Juvia, right? So stay tuned for that. And the next, I think we're gonna get maybe another episode or two before, like, the next big battle starts, if you will. So lots of great stuff, guys. Let me know what you thought in the comments down below. If you have anything to add about, like, the whole deal with you know, just the difference with Lucy from, because I don't think any of the other characters really suffer through this. It's just, to me, it's just the hair. I don't really even care so much about the outfit. I just wish the hair would be more consistent, that it's longer, because it has been a whole year. But she still looks great, man. I love Lucy so much. Absolutely fantastic. And, oh, these moments, too. Just her standing there with Natsu. I love it. I love it so much. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And stay tuned for more videos coming soon. Everybody have a great day. And peace out.
99.